Guys, why is everybody going bald? Why is everybody suffering from hair thinning and alopecia? Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel where we discuss all things health. Because too many men, women, and children of different ages, right, in different demographic and countries now are experiencing very rapidly alarming rates of hair loss. Like, it is now an epidemic, the amount of women that are losing their hair, and it is very, very concerning because too often, we have associated hair loss with aging. As you get older, you're not really getting all the nutrients, so your hair beginning to thin. But now we're finding young people who are well within their teens and 20s, their hair is now receding or thinning, or they are suffering from alopecia. Guys, our diets are completely different from what it used to be. We are now in an era where we are over consuming, and we are not just over consuming, but we are consuming all of the wrong things, the things that are toxic, the things that are not healthy, the things that are not nutrient dense, the things that are not going to feed our cells and by extension feed our hair. And as such, we are losing our hair, and we are scarring our scalp. Therefore, our follicles are now dead and cannot regrow. We are eating too much mess. We are eating too much junk, too much inflammatory foods, and these foods that is blocking our nutrients, it is making us bald. It is making us bald, and we need to fix it now. Next thing we're going to discuss is stress. A lot of us are going bald, suffering from alopecia, because we are stressed. We are dealing with so many different factors that affects our mental health and our stress levels daily. Our cortisol levels are up and down through the roof, and it's like a roller coaster. It's just all over the place. And as a result, it is sending inflammation to your scalp, and then you're going bald. Next thing you know, your hairline going back and back and back and back and back, and exactly the back of your head. Next thing you know, your hair missing. You have no hair, and your hair can no longer grow back. We need to learn how to regulate our nervous system and our stress levels. So guys, first things first, we're going to discuss some of the major reasons why I believe so many people are experiencing hair loss, and these beliefs are based on hundreds and hundreds of research and thousands of research I've done over hours and hours of research, where I've studied it, and it is linked to various things. And I believe that this information will now help you guys, or help somebody you may know. You can send this video to anyone who you think they may be experiencing hair loss and they don't know where to start, or they keep getting the same generic information. Use this hair oil, do this, use this shampoo, guys, it's a lot deeper than just a shampoo and a hair oil or even just a wig. It's a lot deeper. So first I want to discuss nutrients. Guys, we are not eating like how we used to back in the day, or how our ancestors or our parents or grandparents. We are no longer getting the nutrients that we are supposed to get to feed our cells, which then feeds our organs, right? We are no longer getting the vitamins, the minerals. We are no longer getting the sufficient amount, or sometimes even if we do feel like we're taking the vitamins and minerals, our body is not absorbing it well, our body is not moving it around well so that it can reach to where it needs to be reached. All right, this is called movement of the vitamins and minerals, and as such we are seeing that it is affecting our hair. Our hair is thinning because the proper nutrients, the hair is the last place that's going to get nutrients, and if your other organs need it ASAP, the hair is not going to get it. It's going to have to hold a burn. It's going to have to wait. It's going to give the other organs the nutrients. Understood? So guys, we're eating too much dairy, we're consuming alcohol, we're consuming junk, we're consuming processed foods, we're consuming stuff that has endocrine disruptors, we're consuming so many products and foods that are not allowing our nutrients to be absorbed or moved to our cells where we need it to go, our organs. And as such, we are paying for it in the form of our hair. Our hair is falling out. And most doctors, they tend to prescribe iron. They will tell you your hair thinning, maybe you're lacking in iron. While that may be true, it is a lot deeper than just saying you're lacking in iron. Sometimes it's because you're not absorbing the iron one. Sometimes it may be because the parasites in your stomach, in your gut, they're actually feeding on your iron. Sometimes the iron is not being regulated or moving around to get to the proper organs. So if you're taking, supplements and you see no change, your hair is still thinning, it's still balding, then we have to start to ask ourselves on a deeper level, something else is wrong. It is not I am not iron deficient, or I am taking iron supplements and it's still not working. And this is where we need to dig deeper and determine if it's parasites that is feeding the iron, if it is we have leaky gut where the vitamins and minerals are not getting to our organs, our scalp and whatnot, or if it's something else, right? Another issue we see is gut issues and inflammation. So many of us are chronically inflamed. We are chronically inflamed. How does this happen? We're eating too much processed foods, where our stress level is high, where it's causing inflammation in our body, right? We're not exercising, we're not resting, we're not getting the vitamins and minerals that our body needs, and as such we are now inflamed, and this inflammation is now wreaking havoc on our body. And because we're discussing hair and scalp, it's wreaking havoc on our hair. Our scalp is filled with bacteria and fungus and inflammation. Therefore, our scalp is a whole ecosystem. Our scalp is a whole, it's like it had its own thing going on up there. So therefore, if it is you have inflammation and fungus and this and that and all these things going on, it is not creating an environment conducive for healthy hair growth. It is not creating an environment conducive for your hair to flourish and thrive. Right, guys? It is just causing our scalp to be inflamed and our hair follicles to miniaturize and fall out and shed. Our body is now fighting against itself. The next thing is stress. We are constantly stressed. We are stressed because of work. We are stressed due to relationships. We are stressed because of our children. We are stressed, because of the economy. We are stressed because of the government or our country as a whole, there may be crime, there may be so many things that may be causing you to stress, and most people don't realize that when your nervous system is dysregulated and that stress hormone cortisol, it begins to rise, it begins to attack your immune system and your body. It will attack your follicles and your hair, scalp. It is causing inflammation, and as such you are going to lose your hair. Your hair is going to begin to thin, and most times most people don't begin to address the issue when they still can. They wait until it's too late, or they go to doctors and they don't deal with the root cause. They just give them things to deal with the symptoms, and the situation, it gets worse over time. And at that point, you now lose your hair and you're bald. They call it your baldina, baldy. Another thing is, many of us are taking vitamins and minerals, and we do not have the proper education as to how we should take the vitamins and minerals. For example, most people, when their hair begin to thin, your hairdresser, cosmetologist, your esthetician, or whatever you want to call them, because everybody has different name when they do different things, right? They tell you you're lacking iron, go get some iron. Most people don't tell you that iron has to be absorbed with vitamin C. They also don't tell you that certain foods, certain things block iron absorption. Coffee block iron absorption, and most people have this extreme obsession with coffee. Every morning they drink their coffee. They don't take the iron. They don't take the iron with vitamin C, so the iron is not being absorbed. And not just coffee, there's calcium, milk. Dairy is another thing that blocks iron absorption. Where I am from, we grew up drinking beetroot punch, and this is made with milk, dairy products. So people tell you all the time, the iron low, drink some beetroot punch, drink some but the beetroot has milk in it. So, and again the iron, I just get the beets. Make it make sense. So these are things that we have to learn when it comes to, hair loss, hair thinning, and alopecia. We have to understand that it is so much deeper than we think. So if you are chronically inflamed and you have a lot of inflammation in your body, you are now supposed to be eating high foods and anti-inflammatory ingredients, right? You have to be eating high antioxidant foods and foods that are highly anti-inflammatory. This is going to help to reduce the inflammation in your body, right? And like I said, most people are walking around chronically inflamed, and you can tell. There will always be signs. For example, your hair thinning alone is a sign in itself. That is your body warning you, telling you that you are inflamed and or there is something going on internally and you need to address it. Sometimes your face get puffy, or you start experiencing other symptoms. This is your body telling you that you are inflamed and you need to work it out ASAP. Right, guys? Inflammation leads to so many different illnesses, and hair loss is just one of them. It is just one. And then we have hormonal imbalance, where so many people, especially women, their hormones are all over the place, and you go to the doctors and they prescribe you these hormone tablets and it does nothing. It gives you all sorts of side effects. It doesn't balance out your hormones as it should. And here you are, still balding. Your hairline is still going back, and back. So we don't realize that we need to make sure that our hormones are completely balanced. Are you estrogen dominant? Is your progesterone low? We need to figure out what is not balanced in our bodies and begin to bring our body in a state of calmness and balance. Our nervous system should be regulated. We should not be and this is stress also leads to hormonal imbalance, because you're studying all sorts of things, and guys, as a result, it is showing up in your hair. Your hair is one of the first places where you see visible signs of chronic inflammation, hormonal imbalance, because it's on your head, it's on the outside. You can't always see what's going on the inside, but your hair is on the outside. So from the time you see your hair thinning and balding, you know there's something going on the inside that you need to address. And this is a very common one that most people don't talk about toxins, whether it's environmental toxins or toxins that we put in our body in terms of like hair products, alcohol, smoking. Guys, we don't realize that these things sometimes have side effects that we are unaware of. Sometimes you go and you purchase a product, you have no idea of the side of the product, but you use these products religiously, and then they begin to fall out your hair. Back in the day, our ancestors, our grandparents, our parents, you know, they use more natural products, and I believe that we need to start going back to more natural grades products, or products that has as very little chemicals as possible. Your aloe vera, your black soap, your shea butter, your neem, you know, your oils and stuff. These are the things that we need to start putting back in our hair and our scalp to ensure that our scalp ecosystem is calm. It is not inflamed, it is not irritated, it is not lacking nutrients, it is getting proper oxygen, right, for it to thrive. We need to go back to the basics. We need to stop using products that is disrupting our hormones and as such causing it to wreak havoc on our hair. Now ladies, when it comes to the wigs and the weaves and the braids and the extensions, we need to know when to give our hair a rest. We need to know that wearing wigs and stuff and have it pressed on your hairline, we need to know that not washing our hair regularly, we need to know that wearing tight braids and stuff, these things are causing too much tension and friction on our hair, and as such it is going to go with your hairline, it is going to go with all your hair follicles, and you're going to be a baldy. Do you want to be a baldy? Do you want to be a baldy? We need to begin embracing our hair, and even if you choose to wear wigs and weaves, it is very important that we learn to take care of our natural hair so that we don't lose our hair, because here's what is going to happen. When you begin to lose your hair, when you begin to lose your hairline, when you begin to lose your follicles and it can no longer grow back, guess what's going to happen? You're going to have to wear these for the rest of your life. You're going to have to wear the wigs and the weaves for the rest of your life, and you will have no hair, or it will be in such a terrible state that you would be so ashamed and depressed, and you will have lots of regrets as to why you should have done a better job at taking care of your hair. Guys, we need to understand that hair loss is a major thing, and it is part of our identity, and according to the Bible, it is also our glory, right? We need to understand that hair loss is our body indicating to us that something is wrong, and for the most part it is something internally that we need to address, whether it is ensuring that we balance our hormones, whether we cut down on the processed foods and the junk that is only causing chronic inflammation in our body, reducing the inflammation in general, right? Whether it is reducing our stress levels, not allowing people, places and things to stress you out past the point where you are losing your hair, right? Eating proper foods, getting proper nutrient dense foods that is going to feed your cells, that by extensions feed your organs and feed your hair, ensure that your hair gets enough oxygen, right? And even using more natural or safe products that is going to be beneficial to your hair scalp, and that is not going to cause you to lose more hair or cause you to thin and shed, and not wearing too much tension hairstyles, tight ponytails, tight wigs, tight braids and stuff, cornrows that is going to root out your hair. We need to begin taking stock of what is hurting us and begin making small steps to dealing with the root cause. Right, guys? And guys, when we talk about iron absorption, when we talk about, us getting proper nutrients from the food, this is heavily regulated by our gut. If your gut is not in order, if your gut microbiome, if your gut lining, if your gut is not balanced, guys, you are not getting your proper nutrients, or your nutrients is not being distributed, or your body is not excreting the waste that needs to be excreted, and it's just recycling, and as such it is causing inflammation, and it is causing you to lose your hair. Guys, our body works in what is the word? It's like it works in unity. Everything works together, right? So therefore we can't just deal with topical stuff and not deal with the internal stuff. And internally, you may have to deal with more than one different thing to really fix the issue. You may have to deal with your gut, the inflammation, you may have to deal with your stress levels, you may have to cut down on certain foods, your nutrition. Sometimes it's more than one thing that we need to get done in order to see change. Right, guys? So don't forget to like, subscribe, comment, and we're going to do another video on, another reason why women are going bald. We're going to do specifically to women. We're going to dive a bit deeper. Now, ladies, I know we love our hair pieces, our wigs, our weaves. It gives us, diversity. It gives us, sometimes a sense of belonging. It helps us with our self-esteem. It helps us be creative and innovative and all these different things. And nothing is wrong with that. What I would like to say is that, ladies, is that we should be able to change it up. We should be able to still wear our hair and have our hair in optimal health. We should be able to still take off the hair pieces and have a hairline and have hair. Too often, women are wearing wig after wig without giving their hairline rest. And when they take off the wigs, the hairline is gone. It is receding, it is bald. Too often we are wearing braids, and the braids are heavy and they are causing tension and friction. And when we take out the braids, our hair density is thinner, our hair is falling out, our hair is shedding excessively. Too often we are wearing our hair in weaves, and they are sewing it down so tight you would swear that they are stitching your scalp. What is that? And then we have the slick back hairstyles. We have, the ponytails, where we are using certain products, and it is filled with so much toxic ingredients that it is causing your hair to fall out. It is causing you to get inflammation on your scalp. And most women are of the belief that if they leave their hair dirty for a month, 3 months, it will grow. Now, while this may be true, what I would like to say with that is, I believe that to be true when women actually use minimal products, when they use more natural based products like aloes and the hair oils and stuff. Because at the end of the day, you have to know your hair and your scalp. You have to know what works for you. But you cannot wear a wig or a weave for 3 months straight and your hair is building up with all sorts of inflammation and scab and dirt. Your hair is gonna fall out, sweetie, and then you're gonna be bald. You're gonna be bald. Do you want that? You don't want that. You don't want to be bald. Even if you want to wear your hair, you want. So we have to remember to take care of our own hair. We have to remember we have to know when to put down the wigs and weaves. We have to know when it is causing us more harm than good. Your hair is beautiful. You don't need it necessarily. However, if you choose to wear it, you should be responsible. You should be able to still take care of your hair. You should still be more mindful of the type of braids. They are even making wigs, weaves, and braids now from chemicals that is seeping through your scalp now and causing you to have inflammation, bacteria, and fungus. There are products that is wreaking havoc on your scalps, and the longer you use them, the more problems you create for your hair. Why are we wearing wigs and sticking down and taping down and doing all these sort of paraphernalia? This is a headband wig, by the way. We're doing all these different things, and as a result, it is pulling out your hairline. It is growing out your hair. So these are some of the things, these are some of the reasons why we are seeing alopecia and hair ball at an alarming rate, because we have seen over the years where wearing wigs and weaves have grown exponentially. Like, there are way more women wearing wigs and weaves, and although we started the natural hair movement, a lot of women were using wigs and weaves to kickstart the natural hair movement, so they gave up relaxers for the wigs, but they're still damaging their hair. So this is where the disconnect came in. Most women decided that they're no longer going to relax the hair. They no longer want the chemicals in the hair, but they replace those chemicals with wigs and weaves. Some of these wigs and weaves or these braiding hair, they have chemicals in them. Some of the products that they are using, they are laced with chemicals. So when you decide, oh, I'm no longer relaxing my hair, I'm a natural, but you wear wigs and you still use them irresponsibly, you're defeating the whole purpose, because you just replace one toxin with another. So ladies, I just want to remind you guys that if you choose to wear your wigs, your weaves and stuff, it is fine, but we have to be mindful that in doing so, we need to still take care of our hair. Health, ladies, your hair is part of your health, right? Your hair is part of your health, and your hair thinning or shedding is an indication of something going wrong in your body. So it is very important that, we understand that health is not just one thing. It is so broad, and if we want to begin to see a change, we need to now make more informed decisions. We need to be more intentional and more mindful of the products that we use, how we use them, and how often we use them. I don't know any woman that wants to be bald, that wants to have a thinning hairline and alopecia. This is an indication that your health is at risk. There is something wrong, and it will just cause other problems. We need to figure it out now. So guys, don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment. I'll be doing another video, right? Please look out for the next video, where we will be discussing on hair loss, specifically in men. We have discussed, with women and how it affects women, but we need to dive in with men as well, because men also experience hair loss, and it's becoming very alarming for them as well.